Good afternoon, everyone. Vanguard of Valor here, and welcome back to another episode of Dwarf Fortress. You betcha. Now, the last episode was a little bit disorganized because of all those crazy things that happened to us, but this time we have a very clear goal. It's a secret to no one, apparently, in the comments, that we had a little bit of a vampire problem in our fortress. But I took it on myself to research it independently, and I discovered an interesting thing. We don't have one vampire in our fortress, we have two. Now, the thing that turned me on to this problem was the fact that when we were renaming our dwarves, we were looking through our military screen, and two of our dwarves didn't have their nicknames. Specifically, it was Toaster and Lovebat. For whatever reason, their names were not the same as we had changed them earlier. They were still listed as having the nickname, but when we went to actually look at the dwarf, it wasn't the same. So I did a little bit more investigating, yes, did a little bit more investigating, and I discovered that they are in fact, very likely, both vampires. We've been lucky so far. They haven't fed on anyone yet, but I bet you that time is coming soon. So we're going to take the power into our own hands and eliminate these vampires. But first I'm going to explain how we know that they're vampires. There are a couple clues that give it away fairly clearly. Let's look at any random dwarf. So let's look at Parkaface here. We'll view him. We can, with V of course, hitting enter to view his thoughts and preferences. There are a variety of things we can see on this screen, but there are a couple that are fairly key. One of the main ones here, the number of things they've been part of. They're a citizen of the Barricade of Sprinkling, a member of the Legendary Rim, and a former member of the Furnace of Masters. Former member of this thing, and she arrived at Nishostar on the 21st of Granite. So, she's been in a couple civilizations, but not that many. A reasonable number, given their 62-year lifespan. We also have things such as this top line, which is very important. The things that they like. In the things that they like, we have a wonderful drink lately, slept on a rough cave floor recently, admired a fine door and was caught in the rain, because we don't have bedrooms for these new dwarves yet, so they don't all have beds. But you'll find quite often in our fortress that people have drink, sleep, bedrooms, and dining rooms very high on the things they like, because I went to a point of making big bedrooms, a nice big dining room, so that people will be quite happy in those places. As such, they're very high on their happiness meter. Vampires, on the other hand, don't drink, they don't eat, and they don't sleep. So they don't have any happy thoughts related to eating, drinking, or sleeping. So if we look at another dwarf, let's go back to our list here. Let's look at Lemuel, our miner, one of our first dwarves. Let's look at him. Has been ecstatic lately. He admired his own fine bed, he dined in a legendary dining room, he was in a good bedroom, he talked with a friend, he admired a fine seat, he was caught in the rain and has been satisfied at work. He's only been in very few civilizations, all those good things, but you see, this is very highly focused on beds, food, dining rooms, all those kinds of things, and sleeping. He's been in very few of these, and the rest of this is not super important to finding he's a vampire, but this top area here is very important. Now if we look at Lovebat instead, let's come down, can I just click on it? Does that work? No. If we scroll down to Lovebat instead and look at Lovebat's list, we'll find things are a little bit different. Yes. You might notice there is an enormous blue area here. Enormous. Lovebat has been part of a ton of former societies. And you know why that is? Well, that's because vampires live for ages. They don't sleep, they don't drink, they don't need any of those things. You can't drown them, they don't starve. They just live a long time. So, as a result of that, it says he's 105 years old, but that is in fact a lie. Just like his appearance as being a dwarf is a lie. Well, it's not a lie, he's a vampire. But his age is a lie. So, he has been around for a long time. Long enough to outlive most of these civilizations. Possibly because he killed them all. Or she killed them all. However, Lovebat, it says he here, though, so we're going to stick with that gender. Lovebat here has murdered them all. We possibly, not necessarily murdered them all, but he's been in a ton of civilizations, which indicates he's been alive for a long time. Also, if we look up at the top here, has been happy lately, took joy in slaughter lately, admired a fine trap, was able to rest and recuperate. This is not related to sleeping. Was rescued recently, has been annoyed by flies, has been satisfied at work, has been caught in the rain. Nothing about eating, nothing about the bedroom, nothing about our dining room, nothing about the beds, nothing about the drinks that he's been drinking, nothing about the food he's had. None of those things are mentioned, which is somewhat suspicious. Somewhat suspicious indeed. We can ignore the rest because the rest isn't particularly important. It's these top sections that are key. We can also take a look at Toaster's bar. If we look at Toaster over here with V to view creature, enter to see, we have very little up here. Has been quite content lately, has been satisfied at work, and has been caught in the rain. Nothing about food, sleep, or drink, or the dining rooms, or the bedrooms, which are key for everyone else, has been in a whole bunch of civilizations. Only 63 years old, which for other dwarves was only like 2 or 3 civilizations. Here's a ton of them. That's fairly suspicious. Very suspicious indeed. There's a couple other little things that we can do to find out that the things are a little bit off. If we look at the relationships here, for Toaster, Toaster has an enormous family. Enormous family. Now that's not the end of the world, but it is strange that none of them would be with them. A lot of the time, dwarves who have lots of family members who are no longer with them, it's because they're all long dead, because the vampire lives much longer than the rest of their family. It's a little bit different in some cases. For example, if we go to Lovebat, Lovebat doesn't have that. It's not a giveaway either. People do have big relationships. Oh, it's Parkerface. See, Parkerface has a fairly large family, but their husband is here with them. The family members can often be in other places, but their husband or wife is almost always with them in the fortress. But if we look at Lovebat, Lovebat doesn't have that same thing. So this wrong button there, R for relationships. Only knows a few people who all live in this fortress, and their god. So, there's not the most evidence here that that is a key giveaway, but it is definitely something to watch out for. There's another giveaway, though. I think this is the one that people notice the most. If we go to Dwarf Therapist, we can see Lovebat has about a bazillion skills. Most dwarves have like 2 skills. Gooey here has, two normal skills. Lovebat has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 normal skills instead of like 30 all told. Because if you go into the military skills, they've got a bunch of those. The social skills, they've got a ton of those. And as does Toaster. Toaster has a ton of social skills. Has a bunch of military skills. If we look, there's a bunch of them there. And if we go up to Labors, has a bunch of these skills as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Almost as many as Lovebat does. And that's because, like I said, the vampires live for so long. They have a lot of time to get really good at things, or at least get good at a lot of different things. But one of the key giveaways is all these social skills. They're really good at lying, at negotiating, at judging intent, flattering, conversation, intimidating, right? All these skills they have are related to the fact that they've been a vampire for so long and have been manipulating people. Because vampires are really good at getting out of being caught. Even if your people directly see them sucking the blood of one of their close friends, they will often be convinced that somebody else did it by the vampire. So, there is a very, very good deal of evidence here showing that Lovebat and Toaster are vampires. And there's one more giveaway. This one's a bit of a bug. You get bug with Dwarf Therapist. But if we were to take off their nickname, so if we go into, if we do that here, view creature, customize, Lovebat, we'll take off Lovebat's nickname for the moment. Their name is Nishtatatis. Alright, we'll keep that. It's good. We come in here, we read the dwarves. Do we have a Nishtatatis? Nope. There's no Nishtatatis in this list. But there is a new name as well. If we can find them again there. Katin Muskugan. Well, that's not the same name. That's because Katin Mosuskugan is Lovebat's original name. The name that we have in here in the game is the alias they've taken as a vampire. So that's what's going on there. You can do the same thing with Toaster, and that's not the same name either. Both of them are actually vampires. That is a direct giveaway. The other ones are all clues, but that one will directly tell you. So, we've discovered we have vampires. Now it's probably best we do something about them. So we're going to take some fairly direct action here and make sure that these vampires get out of the way as quickly as possible. Now we can't drown them. We probably can't fight them either because they're fairly strong fighters. We need to get rid of them in some other way, and we have a very direct way of doing that. It's going to be a little bit tricky though, so we'll see what we can do. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mark out a Burrows, because what we want to make sure, what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be atom smashing them. Now what that means is we're going to have them stand underneath our drawbridge and we're going to drop the drawbridge on them. Doing so will actually entirely obliterate them. Everything that they have, their corpses, everything will just vanish into the ether, which is why it's called atom smashing. You can use it to do all kinds of nasty things like that. But we're going to be using that on them to make sure that they get out of the way without doing any harm to our dwarves. Now, to make sure no one else gets caught in it, no one else happens to be outside at the time, nothing goes wrong, we're going to build a burrow. Burrows are great for a bunch of reasons, and we're going to make one now to make sure that we have it when we need it. So, we are going to define this burrow. We are going to use this, a brush that we get here, hitting enter, of course, to select areas, to define all of the area we want people to be able to go to in an emergency. So we want all of this top floor ready. You don't have to do it as precise as I'm doing up here. I'm going to be defining out this whole top floor based on the actual areas we have dug out, and the doorways, of course. If you don't mark off the doorways, people can't get through the rooms. This is literally, if you set a burrow in place and lock people in it, they physically cannot go where it does not say they can go. Now down here we'll do a more general sweep. We'll just select the area and cover it all. And then they'll be able to go anywhere in that space. And we can do that again down here. We can select the area and just cover it all. And then they'll be able to go anywhere down there. But you do want to make sure that you cover everywhere that you want your dwarves to be able to go. Because if you don't, they will not be able to go there. And that would probably not be good if you're in the middle of some kind of siege and say your dwarves can't get to water. So we're going to select all this space, select all the areas we want people to be able to go, and mark that as our burrow. We can name the burrow as well. We'll call it the Panic Room, because that's what we'll be using it for. And we'll go back now, and we are done with that. Now we need to go make this useful. We go into the military screen. We go into alerts. We're going to create a new alert, which is called, let's rename it. We're going to call it Panic Room. There we go. And in Panic Room, we will set the civilians to be locked into the burrows by going over the burrows here and hitting Enter. Restrict civilians to burrow. And that means that if we set the civilian rating by going over onto Panic Room here and hitting Enter, all the civilians will get locked into that space. They will no longer be allowed to go outside, is basically what it does, which is what we want to be doing. So we'll leave that on there for now. Now there's another step to this plan. Another very important step. We want to be able to directly control the two vampires we have without influencing what other people do. So, we're going to come up here, we're going to go into the Noble screen, we're going to make Lovebat a new Militia Captain. So Lovebat is now Militia Captain. Good, that lets us make a new squad specifically for them. So we're going to go to the Courageous Syrups and take Lovebat out of the squad. We're going to come down here and create a new squad around Lovebat with no uniform. We're also going to put Toaster in that squad to make sure that it is both of our vampires and nobody else. Excellent. We're going to go to our equipment and make sure that they have nothing equipped because we do not want them to have anything. Good. And we're also going to tell them to have an exact match to nothing. So that means they won't bring anything of value with them. We're also going to tell them to replace clothing with it so they'll leave all of their valuables behind. That's the idea anyway. Now, with that done, we are going to go to Alerts, and we're going to make a new one. This is very another very temporary alert. We're going to rename this one to be Vampire Squad. Oops. Vampire Squad. They'll never know that we know they're vampires if we put them in Vampire Squad. Anyway, Vampire Squad is going to have its own job to do, so we're just putting this here just to have it separate for fun. You don't need to. I could just put them in active training, but I felt like separating them out. Submerged Quakes are part of Vampire Squad, and Vampire Squad automatically starts on the schedule as being something with only active duty, which is fine, that's all we want. Now, with that done, it's time to actually get working here. So, we need to get them out of our fortress. We want them to get outside so we can close the drawbridge, and then smash them with it. So, we're going to hit S to activate our squad control, E to select the submerged quakes, and then we're going to hit M to move them. And we're going to move our squad outside. We want them to go right about here. Right there. Excellent. Now, here's the idea. Once they get outside, we need to quickly pull this lever to lock them out. These guys are going to be hungry soon, so if we're not quick, they might get back in the fortress and kill someone, because I don't think they've actually fed since they arrived. So we're going to need to lock the door, then we need to move the movement underneath the door, and then smash them with it. It should work fairly well, and then we have a couple other little things to do to make sure things don't go badly for us after having killed them, because while having vampires is no good, having ghost vampires is also not very good. So, It's a busy, busy world out there. Now, we have that set, so that should be fine. Vampire squad is going to go get killed. Now, we have another important thing to do here. This is unrelated to our vampire adventure, but we're going to do it quickly before we forget, because we have someone over here who badly wants some bones. Badly wants bones. Bones and wood and bones. So, we're going to supply them with some bones. If we go to our dwarf therapist, we see that we do have our butcher. Unfortunately, our butcher is in the middle of doing military work, so he won't be able to do his butchery job. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to make a new butcher down here in this list. We need to make sure that they're not in our military list, but that shouldn't be too hard. One of our leather workers, siege engineers here, Gimli. I think Gimli's in our warrior squad too. Okay, let's find someone else who is not as part of that squad. Squatting hobo, you're a spear dwarf, but I do not believe you are currently being used for anything in our military, because we don't have a spear dwarf squad. So we'll make you our new butcher for now. We'll take away your farming job. We'll take away your other jobs, because we want you to just be doing this for the time being to make sure nothing goes wrong. We can go back and fix this later, but for the time being we need a butcher. So we will commit those changes. There we go. Squatting hobo is now our butcher. We're going to go into our animals menu, so we'll go units list, pets and livestock, and we can designate some animals here to be slaughtered. Actually, this is the wrong place to do it. It's Z and then animals. There we go. Now we can designate them to be slaughtered with B, so we will slaughter our horse, I think. It's getting pretty old, I believe, and probably will not go so well. And our donkey here is still marked for slaughter. We can kill him too, because we can't use these guys for anything at the moment. We might as well get the bones and meat and stuff out of them. So that should work. That should work. And he should go take care of that, which means we should have enough bones to prevent our unfortunate Axtberg from going crazy. Okay, so that's a lot of stuff working here. A lot of stuff is underway. Now we need to make sure that it all works out properly. So, this is the moment of truth now. We have to make sure that our vampires get outside and we can lock the door before they get back in and try and murder someone, because there's a good chance it's going to be happening fairly soon. I believe we have everything working as it should. We have, let's see, is there anything else we need to be doing simultaneously right now? I do not think that there is, because everything else looks like it can wait a little bit longer. Yeah. Okay, well, we should be okay here. We should be, should be okay here, just as long as our vampires get outside really quickly. They should be going to throw away their stuff now and then rushing outside. And as soon as they get out there, there goes, that is Lovebat. Where is our... Oh, he's good. He's outside already. So we need to quickly now get to the lever, add a new task, capital P, to pull the lever, which will lock them outside. Hit it. Good. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. People are all complaining. When you set a new... when you lock people in a Burrows, they do not like it. Anyone who has a job to do is like, I can't, what do I do? How do I do? I don't even, what, how, who? And they just freak out. So, that's not so good. We'll need to deal with that. We're going to come and open up our barracks in a minute, but first we have to kill our vampires. So, they're the only people who are currently outside. There's no way they can murder anybody. The doors are up, so all we have to do is place them underneath, and they will die a lovely death. So we're going to hit the squads menu again, hit E to move the submerged quakes, and we're going to give them the M command to move directly next to that door. Alright there, gentlemen. Excellent, and now it's time to murder them. Sorry, Lovebat. Sorry, Toaster. But you cannot kill any of our dwarves today. Let's smash them with a bridge, and this will be a short-lived adventure. Hurry up and smash them. That's all we need. Hurry up. There we go. And smash. Problem solved. We see here Toaster, Mace Dwarf, has been crushed by a drawbridge. They apparently don't know what happened to Lovebat, but Lovebat also got crushed by the drawbridge. So they're gone. If we open up that bridge again, there's nothing underneath. I'm not going to open it up at the moment because it's just a little bit of a waste of time. But, oh no, he did go insane. Sorry, Axtberg, we just couldn't save you in time, apparently. Did we get the animals slaughtered in time? Did they slaughter at all? It doesn't look like they did. Well, that's unfortunate. So we'll unslaughter these animals, I suppose. We'll leave the horses slaughter, maybe. We'll see if they actually do it. But that is unfortunate. So we did lose Axtberg. We were not able to get him the bones he needed in time, but that's just because we haven't been able to fight anything yet. We haven't had enough time here to develop a stockpile of bones, and everyone seems to want them. So we've gone through most of the animals we can murder. So there's Augsburg. I'm sorry, Augsburg. We lost our good farmer, too. And he's our good brewer, too. No! We have a bunch of new brewers, and we have a couple new farmers, but that's not half as good. Alright, well, we'll turn off this... we'll put on the other jobs for this guy. There we go. Squatting Hobo can keep his other jobs now. Commit those changes back in. But unfortunately, Augsburg has gone berserk. And he's going to be really sad, and he's not going to eat or drink, and he's going to wander around until he dies. So it's a little bit unfortunate. But we have solved our vampire problem, so that's at least one thing done here for the better. And thankfully, he went into a melancholy mood and not a murderous rampage, which can happen. So, I guess we did come out on the plus side there. Now, we do have some more jobs to do, though. We're not high and dry yet. So, we need to come into our mason's workshop. We need to stop constructing rock doors. We need to make some slabs. We need to make 2 rock slabs, because this is how we're going to memorialize our vampires without having their bodies. We're going to make a rock slab and a rock slab. Now, that will give us the ability to actually memorialize them without their corpses, so they don't come back as ghost vampires and give us all kinds of trouble. Now, we're going to need to put them probably in our graveyard, and that is fine by me. So we have a lot of products being made here, tables and whatnot, beds, which is good. We'll be needing them for our hospital later on. But on the plus side, we no longer have our vampire problem. So that's good. Now what we can do is we also need to find a new dwarf to fill out our archery squad. We probably need to wait for a new dwarf to come for that one to work, though, because we only have the 9 archers. I believe almost all of our archers were put into squads already. So, that's fine. Now, what we are going to be doing to make sure this works out is we're going to focus on getting these slabs worked out before we forget, and we're also going to put some tables down in our hospital. So we're going to build tables with T and make sure we have these in here so that we can actually deal with that problem when we get to it. So we have our full line of beds. We'll put in a full line of tables if we can. Hopefully we have enough. If not, that's fine. We'll have to build 2 more from the looks of it. Yes, that's okay though. That'll do for now. And we still need our traction benches, but the tables will give us somewhere to operate. And what else do we need here? We need more threads and things, but hopefully we'll be able to get someone who will come and trade us them soon, because we haven't been able to find any ourselves, apparently. Ah, yes, and the alerts. Oops, wrong button. Military, and then alerts. We put the civilians back on inactive, and we can delete Vampire Squad now, because we do not need it. Yes, I'm sure we can delete Vampire Squad. Excellent. We can also delete the Submerged Quakes, because they are all dead. Can I remove this squad? That's not where we do it from. Positions. There we go. We can disband the squad because there is nobody in it. There we go. And we shouldn't even have that militia captain anymore either. We go to the nobles. Yes, that job no longer exists. That's a bit strange that it would be up there instead of here, but whatever. Okay. Whatever. It looks like it will all work out in the end. If we look at our military squads, they should all have captains, do they not? Rez, Blas, and Quetzalcoatl. Yeah. None of our captains died, so I'm not sure why that space is there. Might have to look into that in a minute. But for now, we will make do. So, actually, let's just make sure that is actually working. Logan, Rez, Blas, and Quetzalcoatl. So if we look at our nobles, Logan is not listed here anymore. Oh, Logan's up there. That's right. This is the right... Everyone's there. It's just that empty space because of our previous love bat is now going to cause some problems. But that's fine. Oy. So we need those slabs carved. That's what we need pronto. It's a prime job we need done. Unfortunately, Logan is probably busy right now, working. So we need a new mason. Is Maroc? Oh, Rez is also busy. Both of our masons are busy. Well then, in that case, we need a new mason, because otherwise we're never going to get anything made out of stone. Can we make Sebastian into one? I don't think Sebastian has any military skills. We're making... Oh, Sebastian is one of our axe dwarves, isn't he? Yep, looks like it. Okay then, let's find someone new. We gotta find someone to become our new Shinobi Quinn, perhaps? Do you have any military skills, Shinobi... Skills, Shinobi Quinn? You have Spear Dwarf, but I don't think we're using you for anything. Good. Congratulations, Shinobi. You have just been turned into our new Mason. Congratulations. There you go. And commit those changes. Excellent. That should allow us to easily get our stonework done. Oh, so many things go into just killing some vampires. You never would have thought it. Anyway, people are now going to rush back outside into the great wide world because they're now allowed back out there again. And that should be lovely. Okay, people are changing their jobs, so our seasons, or rather our months, have just swapped over, so that's good too. We should have plenty of people coming over to do their work. Excellent. Logan came back over to do it himself. Fantastic work. Logan, do your own dwarfy jobs. Okay, so we should have everything we need done here. We might lose these two guys here in our medical tent. Who is down there right now? We might lose... Oh, Seared and Robert Ware. Yeah, we might lose both of them. That would be unfortunate. But they are both injured, and our medical station is not up to scratch yet. We don't have our soap ready, we don't have any threads yet, so it's going to be hard for us to do what we need to be doing. So our slabs are being made. Have we made both of them yet, or just the one? Only the one. But that's okay, we can start doing the second stage of this thing. We're going to go into our Crafts Dwarves workshop, add a new task, and we need to engrave Memorial Slab. Oops, come back. I didn't do that right at all. There we go, engrave Memorial Slab. We're going to pick it, and we're memorializing Toaster in this case, and that's fine. That's exactly what we need, so we will say that. So that should work just fine. Now, Lovebat might not be able to be memorialized immediately because of the fact that their body is currently missing, so I'm not sure how that will work out, but we can at least make sure the Toaster won't come back and haunt us, and that's better than nothing. So we'll engrave ourselves a memorial slab for Toaster. We do have someone who can do that kind of work. GUI will be able to do it, although I'm not sure if GUI is currently working. Their Lovebat has now been marked as missing for a week, so I'm not sure if we will be able to memorialize them now that they have been vanished. Regardless, we know what happened to them. They got crushed by a bridge. We should be able to do this no problem. Now, let's make sure that GUI is not actively currently working. If we come into the job lists, GUI is in the tin versions. Are the tin versions currently working in our schedule? What month is it right now? I'm not sure. Malachite. The Tin Virgins are currently on active duty, so he will not be able to do his rock detailing job, so we'll make someone else be able to do it. I'll make Shinobi Quinn also be able to do rock detailing. Commit those pending changes. Good. Now Shinobi Quinn should come in and finish off those slabs for us. It's a little bit unfortunate using a completely unskilled rock detailer for our memorial slabs, but sometimes you just have to memorialize people with what you have at hand. So that should be just fine. Once that gets underway, we should have a lovely medical situation going on there. It turns out I forgot to turn off Steam. It's so easy to do. There we go. Okay, so now once those things get engraved, we'll be able to put them in place, and then everything should be just fine, but we do need to make sure they actually do get engraved. Is the Crafts Dwarf Workshop already engraved? It looks like it. If we go back down there to engrave slab again, can we do one for... Yeah, we can. Excellent. Oh, it didn't actually do it, apparently. Okay, we'll do one for Lovebat. There we go. Now it's actually saying it. And we'll go down and do one for Toaster. There we go. Engrave those memorials. Fantastic. This will, yes. We can engrave these now, which will protect us from having anything happen if our dwarves decide they want it to be ghosts. This will make that not happen. So that's wonderful. Now, finish those engravings, and we can place them down. There we go, there's one finished. He'll have to build it next. He will come in here and actually engrave the second one, and we're going to go upstairs and set them to be built as soon as they are finished. Hooey! One of our children has just grown up. Ezum Ozensunswab has turned into a peasant, which means they have no job yet, so once they try something, they'll be able to do it. And that's excellent. We'll deal with that probably next episode. We're just about done here. Once we place down our slabs, we'll be ending our episode here for now. Excellent. Our slabs are finished. We're going to come up into our grave site, and we're going to build them. We go into our build menu. We have to find memorial slabs, which might be burial receptacles. I think it's only graves, though. Slab. There it is. We go down to slab, or rather up to slab, because I pushed minus instead of plus. We're going to build a slab. We're going to build it over in the corner. We'll start building our slabs on the right-hand side and our graves on the left-hand side. Slab down here, microcline slab, go. So they should come down and place that. Actually, I'm not sure if that's right. Hang on a second. Is there no memorial thing here? Do you place them with that? I'm going to go quickly double-check that, and we will be right back. Alright, so that is in fact the right way to do it. We can double check here. If we come in to the Q menu, we will remove the building, and we build it again. We can double check that it's the right one by doing this, going down to the slab, and then instead of just directly clicking on it, like we did previously, we hit X, I believe. X? How do you pick this specific... Oh yeah, pick the placement first, right? Pick the placement first, then hit X to see specifics about them, and we can see exactly who's being memorialized here, and it is in fact both of them. So we can set that down, we can do another one, and set it down beside. There we go. So both of our memorials will be placed, and everything should be just fine. So that will be lovely. I quite like for things to be just fine. Check out our farms here. Things look like they're doing good up there. Get those memorials placed, gentle dwarves. Excellent. So that should solve any problems. This is a memorial to our vampires. Ooh, Vampire Memorial has been instituted. Okay, well, thanks for watching, everyone. This has been another episode of Dwarf Fortress with Vanguard of Valor, where we deal with a very pressing vampire problem. If you've liked the episode, don't forget to like the episode, and hopefully we'll be able to make a little bit more progress with our military and our hospital next episode. Until then, bye-bye.